If someone spits in your face, do what comes natural.
I have no message if someone spits on your face either. Well, if it's Jamar Chase, you fight back. If it's Jalen Carter, you run. It is week 12, and I am sad to report the curse wheel got its ass kicked last week. It tried to curse 4 teams, and they all won. The Niners, Bears, Steelers, and Packers. That said, Aaron Rodgers fractured his wrist. Luckily, that won't affect him on or off the field.
Thankfully, I don't watch porn.
Josh Jacobs injured his knee. Eddie Pinheiro pulled a hammy, so really, I'm thinking the Bears are only the 100% curse-proof team. Maybe that Bears fan that paid for a witch to break the curse was onto something. I'm Brandon Perna, and I need you to subscribe here so we can hit 830,000 subs by the end of the month. Before I rank the top NFL teams, we're going to the afterlife, starting with the healing lights of heaven. I am blessing Michael Penix's knee so he can heal. I'm blessing Aaron Rodgers' wrist and Shedeur Sanders' arm. There's nothing wrong with Shedeur's arm, but it needs spiritual intervention, even if his first start is a favorable one against Vegas. In Purgatory, we've got Jake Moody, who was signed by the Washington Commanders. Poor Jake Moody now has to exist on the same team as Deebo Samuel. Again. In hell, right where he belongs, Nick Wright. So the Colts and Saints were on a bye week, which means they won't be on today's power rankings. We're going to start at 14.5. The Chiefs. I only put you at 14.5 so I could say, very politely, go love yourself, Kansas City. All jokes aside, it was a big win for the Broncos, and the reason it was a big win was because you guys have been so good for so long. And now that you aren't, I'm not going to sit here and punch down. I wouldn't do that to the Jets or the Raiders or Titans, so I certainly wouldn't do that to you now that your football club is at the bottom of the pool of mediocrity. Shitting on the Chiefs right now, that's just mean. Other people are doing the slander for me, and I don't like it.
I want to say, Kansas City sucks 5-5. They're going to miss the playoffs.
Rather face Denver and Foxborough than Kansas City and Foxborough.
So again, go love yourself, Kansas City, because I'm not going to say that other thing. Number 14, the Jaguars or Texans. Out of everyone in the AFC playoff picture, the Jags may be holding on to that final spot, but they do have something none of the other teams have. Jacksonville has the best strength of victory and the best overall strength of schedule. That was definitely boosted after the Chargers beat down, and it's got to count for something in general when you look at the Jags prospects if they reach the postseason. I'm going to highlight a Jags player for the real football nerds out there who has an amazing name as well. I'm talking about running back LeQuint Allen. LeQuint was called the best pass-blocking back in the NFL by his teammate center Robert Hainsey.
LeQuint Allen is one of my favorite teammates I've ever had. He's the best pass-blocking running back in the NFL, and I don't really think it's close.
If you have a highlight reel of blitz pickups like LeQuint, it means you're doing something right. And I think the Jaguars found their offensive identity against a very good Chargers defense. It is a run the fucking ball 40 times a game identity. The Titans gave you a run for your money, Houston. CJ Stroud returned to practice, but needs to clear concussion protocol to play Thursday. Did he pass that? And no, Stroud has been ruled out, so one more week of Mills. Look, Houston is still allowing the fewest points per game, despite getting some of the least complimentary football in the league from their offense. I won't count you out, Houston, until the math counts you out. Number 13, I've got the Panthers. Well, we know the Panthers' secret to success now. It's winning the coin toss. They're undefeated when they win the coin toss. They also have the highest paid equipment manager in the league in Luke Kuechly. No wonder the Panthers keep on pounding when they have this hunk of a man putting on their jockstraps. Bryce Young is the only quarterback in the NFL this season to have a 400-yard passing game with at least 3 touchdowns and also 0 picks. Let me see one more 300-plus yard passing game, Bryce, and I'll start Bryce huffing the Panthers' smoke. The most inconsistent player in Carolina has been second-year ball grabber Xavier Legette, but he had 4 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown on Sunday. Panthers fans desperately need Leggett to be a consistent number 2 receiver, because if he becomes that, suddenly the Panthers have a real offense for defenses to worry about. Number 12, I put the Bucs and Steelers here. Your divisions are tightening up. It's becoming clear that in order to make the dance, you have to win your division. Aaron Rodgers should be able to play on Sunday despite his broken wrist. Assuming the Steelers' defense plays like it did against the Bengals, this is a team that has a real chance. My perception of the Steelers, though, is either a legit playoff team, and that's when their defense shows up, or they are a bottom-tier team when their defense struggles. They are the most volatile team in the league, in my opinion. But the best thing I heard this week was Joe Flacco when asked about T.J. Watt hitting him.
I mean, listen, that's football. He did a good job. He buried me in the turf. But I felt good. Felt good all game.
With that kind of attitude, Flacco is destined to land in Pittsburgh in 2026 and add his final infinity stone for the North. What happens when he gets that, nobody knows. I've been saying for a few weeks that the Bucs were about to face an absolute gauntlet of a schedule coming up, and so far they failed 2 tough tests at home against the Patriots and on the road against the Bills. It's not unlike a Todd Bowles team to struggle in the middle of the season, however, and usually the Bucs bounce back. Last year, they had a 4-game losing streak mid-year, also against stiff competition, and rebounded to go 6-1 down the stretch. Maybe just forfeit this upcoming Rams game so you're really, really healthy for the Cardinals, Saints, and Falcons, and you repeat last year. All I've wanted to see is Bucky Irving back on the field. Now I kind of just want to see more of Sean Tucker, who also had exactly 1 insane performance last season when he scored 2 touchdowns and posted 192 scrimmage yards against the Saints week 6. Ah, fuck, we're getting Bucs Eagles again in the wild card, aren't we? The Tampa history repeats itself, Buccaneers. Number 11, the Lions. We were worried about the brain drain in the offseason and largely shrugged it off when the Lions started 4-1, but now they're in a swoon where they've dropped 3 of their last 5. We were also worried about their interior offensive line, and that showed up against Philly. Detroit's center and guards allowed 7 pressures combined, and when Jared Goff has a muddy pocket, things can unravel very quickly for the Lions. Like the Bills, every time I buy back in on you, you let me down. So eat some humble pie here at number 11, Detroit, and get better. Number 10, the Ravens. Out of all the 5-5 teams in the AFC, and to be clear, there are just 2 of them, I definitely trust the Ravens to go on a run and make the playoffs. They've quietly won 4 straight, and they've got the Jets, Bengals, Steelers, and Bengals coming up. So you could blink, and this team could be a terrifying 9-5 and ready to inflict hell on whoever they see in the wild card round. I haven't seen it talked about too much, but their rookie kicker Tyler Loop has quietly been nails, hitting 91% of his field goals and all but 1 extra point. So a team that had the best kicker of all time cut said kicker and got better at the position from 1 year to the next. One thing that concerns me, though, is the Ravens' 10.3% sack rate on offense, which is 3rd worst in the league, just behind the Titans and Jets. Number 9, I got the Packers. In 5 of their 6 wins, the Packers have scored exactly 27 points. Jordan Love's 27, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers were all right, we're all sick and tired of that fucking stat, right? Well, here's a better one. Jordan Love has kind of been shit on this season, but he leads all quarterbacks in EPA per play after week 11. That's saying a lot for a quarterback that doesn't have a 500-yard receiver after 10 games and a run game that averages 3-point diddly squat. Love's not getting a lot of help, but it doesn't mean he's playing any worse than in previous seasons, and he got a key win despite 7 drops from his ball catchers. Number 8, I got the 49ers. This should not come as a surprise, considering their injuries on defense, but the 49ers have the worst quarterback pressure rate in the league from their defense. That D has also given up a 7th worst 29 touchdowns this season, and they're about to face 400-plus yard passer Bryce Young. Despite their flaws, the Niners keep winning games and are not going to go away. I don't think we can understate the boost the offense received with the return of Brock Purdy this week. At this very moment, they have the 7 seed and are in the playoffs over the Lions. Despite that bad loss to the Rams in Week 10, San Francisco has 4 division wins right now, which is the most in the league by any team. Their Week 18 game against Seattle should be very exciting with lots of seeding implications. Number 7, the Bills. A man who has flipped the narrative in Buffalo is safety Cole Bishop, who nabbed his 3rd pick of the season. It looked like Cole was one more blown coverage away from getting buried in the freshly poured concrete of the new Bills Stadium. But he's played better since getting his first pick against the Saints Week 4. Last week I noted the Bills defense had been consistent, and I was right because they have given up 197 rushing yards and 202 rushing yards in their last 2 games. You have to fix that, Buffalo, or you're gonna make me fucking cry. If they can just hold teams to say 130 rushing yards per game, they have a chance to contend. They are dead last in rushing yards allowed per game right now. Well, technically it's the Bengals giving up 160, but I refuse to acknowledge Cincinnati, and that defense is a real NFL defense. I do think the Bills secondary has played well, and they are allowing the 2nd fewest passing yards per game behind the Browns, another team I refuse to acknowledge. The question is, are they that good against the pass, or are smart teams just running the ball instead of passing against them? Trying to figure out the answer there hurts more than waterboarding, which I'm sure was the first thing that popped into Sean McDermott's mind when he saw George W. on the Manning cast. Power Rankings is sponsored by Prize Picks. We're 141 signups away from that next TGS bonus. Those are big for this channel, okay? And I've got a new challenge for you. Today is November 19th. If I can convince 666 of you to sign up by December 3rd, that's 2 weeks, 666, I will commission an artist to draw or paint a giant-ass Patrick Mahomes or Chiefs-themed piece of art that I will hang behind me for the Broncos-Chiefs Christmas game on my live stream, assuming the artist can get it done that fast. But we need 666 signups in that 2-week window. If you want to play in some daily fantasy games where you're guessing player stat totals, use my code TGS when you download the Prize Picks app, so I get credit. These are my plays for Thursday night on Prize Picks. The Bills against that Texans defense on a short week is why I am taking Josh Allen with less than 224 passing yards. Davis Mills against a defense nobody really tries to throw on, right? If you're paying attention in today's episode for fewer yards. Play with me or don't play with me, that's okay too, but when you use my code and deposit $5, Prize Picks will give you $50 in lineups. And now you can play in prediction markets on their app if you're into that. If it tickles your fancy. Coming in at 666, the Bears. How good are the Bears at taking the ball away? Well, they have the 3 interception leaders in the NFL. Deion Sanders' least favorite safety, Kevin Byard's got 5, plus Tremaine Edwards and Nashawn Wright each have 4. That's a big reason the Bears have been able to survive having the 26th overall scoring defense and win 6 of their last 7 games. Will those turnovers fall off and cause Chicago to regress? Maybe. Probably, almost certainly, because a lot of the quarterbacks on their schedule take care of the ball. But so does Caleb Williams, and he's been every bit as clutch as Bo Nix this year with 5 fourth-quarter comebacks, so I can't really knock the Bears too much for their magic and their ability to Williams themselves to victory. Also, Jalen Johnson could be returning to that secondary soon. Number 5, the Seahawks. As long as you can avoid the Rams in the playoffs, you're still a great team and a true contender, Seattle. Sam Darnold threw so many picks, he showed up in the defensive stat lines. Poor guy wasn't even credited with a tackle.
You got anything to say, quite frankly, fuck you.
And we all know Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions in the last game, right? But what nobody's really explained is why. Who is responsible for those Sam Darnold picks? And after studying the All-22, I found the reason.
Blame it on me.
It's Geno Smith's fucking fault Sam threw those 4 picks.
Fuck you.
Number 4, the Patriots. Now, I gave Travion Henderson a lot of love in winners and losers, but the stat I left out is that he joined Rob Gronkowski and Sony Michel as the only rookie Patriots with 3 touchdowns in a single game. And I mostly mentioned that just to reference Sony Michel. A name you can toss out there the next time you and the boys are just saying random NFL player names. Drake Maye has the highest overall EPA in the NFL right now. EPA, of course, stands for Easy Penis Assembly. What does that mean? Well, it means Drake Maye is playing better than Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, and Matthew Stafford in this one metric. And I said Jordan Love had the highest EPA per play earlier. Well, I really don't know the difference between what I'm saying about him and what I'm saying about Drake Maye right now. Ain't that funny?
Do you even know what's going on?
What you have to love about Drake Maye is he's not dinking and dunking his way to high efficiency. He's averaging 9 yards per pass attempt while having the high penis thing. Number 3, the Eagles. The Eagles are the Broncos of the NFC, but with success this decade. Nobody knows what to make of the Eagles' offense, but their defense is nasty. There are now 3 Jalens on this team, and the third best one plays quarterback. I'm kidding, Mr. Hurts, I'm kidding. Don't squat on me. Kevin Nagandi brought up a crazy observation. Jalen Hurts has never had the same offensive play caller for more than 1 season dating back to college. He had Shane Steichen for a season and a half, but holy inconsistency. I thought Baker Mayfield was the king of this stat. At this rate, Kevin Patullo will be gone too, and this will continue. But I have a sneaking suspicion Brian Daboll could be back as Jalen Hurts' offensive coordinator. Lane Johnson is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a Liz Frank sprain. I know everyone wants to blame the current OC, Kevin Patullo, for all of the offensive problems. Maybe that's fair, but the Eagles' offensive line simply hasn't been healthy this season. Cam Jurgens has been playing hurt, so he's been inconsistent. Their starting unit has been together for just 1 full game this year, and I think that's a bigger part of the problem. Number 2, the Rams. Look, LA, if your defense gets 4 picks in a single game, you should probably win by more than 2 points. That is why you didn't hold the top spot for 2 weeks in a row. Matthew Stafford has 27 touchdowns and 2 picks this year. I don't remember seeing that stat line since Big Dickolas Nicholas had the same exact ratio back in 2013 for the Chip Kelly Eagles. Foles played in just 13 games that season. 2020 Aaron Rodgers finished the year in Green Bay with 48 touchdowns and 5 picks. 2016 Brady had 28 TDs to 2 picks, but was suspended for the first 4 games. What's my point? My point is Matthew Stafford is fucking awesome and is on an undeniable MVP run. He's thrown 6 more touchdowns than second place Dak and Goff. Fitting. The only man beating Goff in front of us this year is Matthew Stafford. And number 1, I've got the Broncos. All I'm going to say is if you come for the crown, you better not miss.
Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
You better not miss. We're the kings of shit mountain now, and you're gonna climb through shit to get to the top and fight us. The Chiefs' offensive line did a pretty good job in pass protection, and the Broncos still sacked Patty Mahomes 3 times. Denver leads the league with 181 QB pressures this season, and now that they go into the bye week, there's a chance they get their best defensive player back on the field in Pat Surtain. The Broncos' offensive line is also allowing the lowest sack rate in the league at 3.2%. God bless big beefy men that wear orange. They are 9-2 despite being tied for the most drop passes this season. And now we spin the wheel. Let's get a good spin today. Hey, look at that, it worked. Benchwarmershop.com to get coffee and all the cursed logos you see here today in shirt form. What do we got today, Wheel? Can you make up for your floundering last week? They're on a bye week. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
But you did it! Well, we can't do it when they're going on the bye. All right, no messing around. I'll fix that next week, and let's spin the wheel. Benchwarmershop.com. You can get all the cursed logos in shirt form there. You're gonna make up for your floundering disappointment from last week. Ooh! Oh no, 13? Is that the poor Panthers? Are they gonna lose the coin toss? Is that what you're saying? Ooh, it is the Panthers, and you got the Niners coming up. I'm sorry, Carolina. I'm sorry, but the wheel's spoken. Come for the king and you better not miss, cause we're gonna make you piss your pants, cause we're gonna take your life. We're gonna cut you with a knife, and then we're gonna steal your wife, and then we're gonna go to a comedy show, and the guy we're gonna watch won't be Matt Rife. Come for the king and you better not miss. Come for the king and you better not miss. You can kiss our grits.